Hi everybody, good morning to you all. It's another great occasion to be here with you to share some of my thoughts, some of my ideas in orbital angular momentum for quantum mechanics 2. We just start with classical and then quantum. L, capital L, as you know all, is before to coming to the class lesson, let me share some of my things with you. As of now, I have no camera, no special infrastructure, no additional technical things in my house by which I can show, I can enhance my way of teaching to you. So as of now, I have only one mobile and iPad. By using both, I am trying to give you much about the quantum mechanics 2. As you all know well, in Mahamanayam Sundaranar University syllabus, we have quantum mechanics 1 and quantum mechanics 2. Now, as of now, it's the even semester, we are having quantum mechanics 2. Already I have started for my class students the quantum mechanics 2 first unit is half the way. The quantum mechanics 2 first unit is actually divided into 3 sections to my poor knowledge. That is orbital angular momentum, matrix representation of angular momentum, and then addition of angular momentum. In particular, it refers to Clebsch-Gordan coefficients. Now I go back to start straight away with the syllabus. Also before that, I want to give you one message, as I used to give you to all my students, my classmates, my colleagues, my friends, audience. The message is, suppose you go in a hot sunlight. The sun is very hot. You cannot bear it. You don't have any shadows. How will you bear it? There is a stage. We think. If there is a stage in which you cannot bear the hot sun, you are full of sweating, you will be in a position to fall down within 2 to 5 minutes. If it's the case, then what will you do to save you from the hot sun? This is my question. I ask this not as a question but as a physicist to my students, audience. Before some years, 20 years back, one fine boy stood up and said the answer. Can you guess the answer now? Since this is a way of teaching one way, I go for the answer also immediately. My dear guys, how to save you from the tiredness of the hot sun is automatically, normally, what you will do is you will close your lids, you will close your eyes. If you do close your eyes, then you can extend the time of your tiredness. If you do ask me how, then science will answer for that question. I go for that as well with science. Suppose you are standing in a hot sun. How much amount of energy of the sun will be perceived or received by your body? If this is a question, then the answer would be maybe through our body, our head, maybe through the nails, or something like that. But the answer is, as you are trying to understand, eyes, two eyes, because 98% of the sunlight will be received by your eyes only. So I go back to that scene. When you go in the hot sun, with no provision to take rest, to take some water, to be there in a shadow, or no other supporting thing for you to save you away from the hot sun, immediately, automatically your eyes will be closed. Automatically you will close your eyes because of this reason. Again I tell you the reason. 98% of the sunlight which you receive will be received by your open eyes. So if there is a situation for anybody in any place, I hope this video will be helpful for you to save you from the hot sun. Now, coming back to our syllabus, quantum mechanics, L. L is the orbital angular momentum. Classically, the L will be one thing which is equal to R cross P. Suppose a body is rotating around a center, then the distance in between the particle, the body and the center is R, that is a position vector, and P is the momentum, P is equal to mv. Now this P is, there is a question will be there. What is this P? Whether this P is a linear momentum or angular momentum. If you do ask, then P is the linear momentum. Linear in particular, to say it very precisely, at that point of contact, at that point in which the particle is there, at that point if you do draw a tangent line to that circular path, if you draw a tangent line to the circular path, then the tangent line will be a linear, will stand for linear momentum. Now coming back, L is equal to R cross P. R is the position vector and P is the linear momentum. Now L is equal to R cross P, right? This is classically speaking. Upon L there is a vectorial symbol, upon R, upon P. As you know, well, cross product of two vectors is always a vector. Now, what could you say about differently for quantum mechanics? Straight away, if you want to say, we can say, or we can treat that particular mass m moving around the circle as an electron moving around an atom. Again I repeat it. Classically, to start with, we took a particle of mass m, macroscopic body, rotating around a path, around a circle. Now, atomic scale particle immediately will come to that electron, proton, neutron, atomic sized particles. I take an electron. As you know, well, the electron is orbiting around the nucleus as a center. Then I can take this as an example in quantum mechanics. Now, again, if you do go back for L, R and P, how to write it, sir? The same way. L vector is equal to R vector cross P vector, but with a hat or cap, as you please. Hat is a cap and cap is a hat, so that L vector caps equal to R vector cap cross P vector cap. What is this cap representing here? It's most important. The caps are standing for operators. L is an operator, R is an operator, P is again an operator. So, in quantum mechanics, we treat the orbital angular momentum L as the operator. R is also an operator, P is also an operator. L, R and P are also called as observables. So I hope you would understand the basic things of orbital angular momentum classically and quantum mechanically. In my next video, we will see how this operator, orbital angular momentum operator, will do things magic in commutator algebra. For that we have to start with commutator algebra first. All the best to all the viewers. I hope you would have enjoyed this. If you like it, you can share it with your friends, students and teachers in various colleges. Thank you very much.